Yo, I'm back. And shout out to Bazberry. Bazberry. And the guy who made my OC, you know what I'm saying? Hoodie Kage. And so, let's get into it.
Is in the clouds though. Know the teacher's mad cause my music beating loud, ho. Tell me keep it down, say I kill it on the down low. And if I turn it up, then I'm bound to attract the crowd. So no wonder me and Tim be out of state, doing things you can't imagine. Chris Angel on the mic, give me a beat, I'll show you magic. We born in different planes, but we all so far from.
Deku's family will be the richest family in Japan, being billionaires. And when at the age of 4, when he gets diagnosed quirkless, his family's sad, especially Deku. He's sad because he can't be a hero like All Might. And so then when they're walking in a drive, like a dark way late at night, from trying to cheer Deku up with some food from a very expensive restaurant. Deku's happy, kind of. And so, then, when things could get worse, a burglar. It says, give me your money, give me your money. And so, then, Deku's father protects both of them. The burglar gets scared when his father uses his fire breath, shoots him in the chest. Then when the burglar tries to take Deku as like a hostage, his mother pushes the burglar away, shooting her, and Deku cries in a pool of blood. And the burglar says, I didn't mean to do that, kid, and runs away. So Deku is sitting there in his parents' cold blood. He's like, what happened? He's in shock. He says, what's happening? And so then he calls one of his family's close associates, Alfredo. Yes, sir, Alfredo. And so he learns how to fight, and he is also learning a lot. So he is learning in Japan right now judo and aikido, and so he wants to fight and discover the people who killed his parents to get revenge on them. And so he still gets bullied by Bakugo every day, but does not care. He just wants to train to kill the person who killed his parents. And so he masters judo and aikido at the age of 7, getting black belts, even as strong as the trainers in it. He is very determined. He doesn't care what's in his way. He wants to find the person who hurt his parents. And so now he's learning speed reading and memory recall to get better at learning stuff. And so then Alfredo says, so since you're technically the CEO, we have to go on a business trip for 3 to 4 years. Are you okay with that, young Midoriya? And he nods. And so they head off. And this is a trip in the US for business. And so Alfredo says, you can have one of your parents' most trusted friends and business partners help you with the business, and you don't have to do much because you're still a kid. And he nods. And so there's technically 2 CEOs, and all the big stuff, like big stuff, go by Izuku Midoriya, since he is technically the CEO, but the other CEO does more advanced stuff than him, but he just says the big calls and stuff, you could say. And so while they're learning a lot of stuff, he learns taekwondo, karate, and kung fu. And so at the end of this 4 years, he is now 11. He is well groomed, well taught. He is high school level smarts, probably college. And so he tells Alfred, "Can we learn more in Brazil?" And he says, "Well, young Midoriya, we actually have to travel the whole Americas for this business to improve our business." And so Midoriya nods. And so he goes and learns boxing and capoeira in Brazil, mastering it after like 8 to 6 months, or 6 to 8 months. And so then he goes to Thailand and learns Muay Thai for 8 months. And so he finally comes home for a year back in Japan. And he's learning ninjutsu. And so he thinks, "I've learned almost everything I could ever learn. I've learned what to do in this cool world that took my parents." And he said, "I vow to be the strongest hero without a quirk, without what people call power. I want to be a hero that makes people like me don't have to lose their parents. People like me that don't have to care or feel sad about not having a quirk." And Deku puts his fist up in the air and say, "I'll vow to do that. And I vow to surpass All Might." And so now I'm going to be talking about what he learns academic-wise, you could say. And so he learns for his final year. I'm going to talk about his final year, actually, at like 14, 15. And so he learned jujitsu, mastering all of the techniques he learned all across the world. Proud of himself, saying, I've mastered techniques all around the world. Now, I feel I could take down the people who took down my parents." And so for the years, he also learned pickpocketing, lip reading, and can make his voice sound louder. And Alfredo also taught him some medical stuff. So if he needs some self-medical treatment. And so he also learned acting, and he also learned how to engineer. He's good at engineering. Like, he can build stuff. Pretty good. Cool. And so he is also good at the art of disguising himself. And he learns how to glide. And so he is happy with the progress he's done. And now he's past college level of smartness. He's very smart. And so he also learned how to make a gun, like how to disarm a gun and make a gun with just like bullets and steel. And so he thinks, I probably will need a suit, and it needs to be bulletproof and stuff. And so he finds the strongest metal he knows from his business called Kelvar. And so he also has a mask. And Deku doesn't have a fear of bats. I don't think he would. Deku doesn't have that. He actually likes bats. Unlike Batman, he likes them. He thinks Bat be one with the bats. And so he decides to make a bat suit. Green bat emblem and black on the outside and a green cape. And so his cape is made out of memory cloth. A pretty strong cape. And also he has a cowl, and in the inside of that cowl there's a chip that has an AI, so it tells him what to do, and so he's proud of what he's done. And so he also makes a grappling gun to get to places faster. He thinks he would need it. It would help a lot. And so he also learns how to be acrobatic and like fight. Well, training with Alfred. And so he also has smoke grenades and a mask for his face. And so now he goes out for his first night, in the night of Boku no Hero world. And so now he hears about this guy named the Joker and Bane. And so he goes out at night and sees a group of Joker's henchmen laughing and saying, "We're gonna take this all. We're gonna take this all." And so they're at these, and they're talking about these dogs, saying, I can't wait to get these new guns that they got, that the U.S. got us. This is good. Joker would be so happy. This will be the best. And then they smile. And so then Deku drops behind them, and they said, "What's that?" And so then Deku, with his sheer speed, just takes out two of them, punching and kicking them in the stomach. Then he looks at the next one. And so then with his sheer speed, he zooms at him, grabbing his throat, slamming him in the ground. And then he glides up to the top of a building, and then holds him by his neck at the end of the building, about to drop him, saying, "Tell me where and when is this dock?" He says, in a week of time. It's for Joker, Bane's, and this new villain association. It's to kill All Might. And Deku says, and then knocks him out and throws him to the side, and ties him up in like strings and stuff. And so he says, "The Joker, huh?" And so now for that week, he's learning more stuff about the Joker with henchmen around the city. And so he finds out that this Joker guy is very strong, I presume. And this Bane guy, he learned that Bane is big, and he also got a picture of Bane. And Deku's like, if I fight him, I would have to be very athletic. And so now it's the dock. It's the night of the dock. And so he goes. And so he sees over 1,000 henchmen just there. With some of them have smiles, some of them have Bane mask. And he's like, this is what they were talking about. And so he throws smoke bombs into a group with 100 men, taking them all out. Because he has on night vision things. And so he's just taking them all out quickly. And so then after he does all that, he takes them all out, cracking one of their necks. And then Deku sees the big shipment. And so he says, this is troublesome. I never saw this kind of gun. And so he decides, sorry about that, he decides to shoot one of them into the sky and said, "Oh, this is strong. This is very, very strong." And so he sees, and so he takes out 10 grenades from his pouch. And then he also uses them all and uses string and attaches them to the string. And so Deku just uses all of his grenades, which is like 50 to 30. And so then he just throws them all in there. And then he has like a lighter, I would think. And so then he says, then he throws the match in there. And then uses his, what's it called? A grappling gun to get out of there. And so now he has left. And so then he glides away and switched to Joker. Harley, how's the shipment going? And Harley said, well, Mr. J, this guy in the bat figure just made the whole shipment explode. Boom! And Joker gets mad and says, there were over 1,000 people there. And she said, Mr. J, they got taken out in like a bat flash. Like, I just saw a bat symbol. And so he says, Harley, what's this bat kind of guy? And she says, well, he just made a poof of smoke and then was taking out all of them like they were a piece of cake. And so Joker says, I'll kill the bat. I'll kill him well. So tell Bane and all, and the leader of the new group here, that this new guy named, what should I call, Batman, took out 1,000 people easily. And so that's his name, Batman. And so every time Deku went around to places and took him down, people were like, it's the Bat. Deku has got a huge name around himself, but nobody can ever find him. When people try to look for him, or when like heroes, or when the cops try to like give him a hero license, they can never find him. It's crazy. And so now it's getting to the half of middle school, and he's been protecting the city a lot. He stopped a lot of Joker's shipments and stuff, and stopped Joker's income of money, you could say. And so the Joker's getting more mad at him. And so Joker just wants to see him. And so Deku decides to take 10 months off. And Deku will be playing, the Joker will be planning with the League of Villains at this period. So he won't try anything. He's planning something big. And so go to Joker's thing. Yeah, talking to Awful One. So, you want to kill All Might? And he nods. And Joker says, well, I want to kill the Bat. So if we can kill both of them, it'll be much appreciated. And the League of Villains leader nods. And Bane is with Joker. So he's always with Joker on this side. And so he is mastering all the skills. Deku is his skills of taking people silently, and also mastering his skills of scaring people, making them tell the truth more. And so he, in the 10 months, is making a base under his mansion. And so he's making suits. He also has an AI computer. And he has his own custom motorcycle that has grapple hooks that can shoot out. And also, he is working on his suits. He's making his bulletproof vest lighter, but actually it's not a vest anymore. It's actually a part of the suit, the material is. And also it's a lighter suit, which means he can use his acrobatic skills even better. And so he's starting to try to use his legs, the taekwondo part of his fighting. And so he's learning and learning. And so he is also making it flammable, waterproof, and he just have it all things that could hurt him in a fight, because he still keeps track of heroes. He actually has all the heroes in his AI system, and so when he acts, or in his mind asks for the AI to tell him what's what quirk does this guy have, and it tells him right away. And so Deku is just practicing hard, and he's also thinking of making a Batmobile. And so he's also wanting to add like rockets to it. So he's working on getting rockets stronger and getting TNT and that kind of stuff. And so he's taking 10 months off, hoping Joker doesn't do anything. And so he still goes out once in a while, but now he's gotten stronger faster, and so he's ready to go to the UA. And so he doesn't need to do he doesn't bump into, or he doesn't do anything. So he just sits down and does the test, does the exam, and gets a 100 easily, because he's very smart. And so now it's the robots portion. And so Deku's like, what will I do? And he thinks, oh, Deku has been using his legs a lot lately. So he said, I'll just use my legs and my fist. And so Deku zooms around. And so when he is like getting near robots, he's easily just snapping them. He's finding them like they're actual like people. And so he's just kicking them hard, and not really punching them, but like doing like kind of moves to get them. Like he grabs one of their arms, rips off the robot's arm, and slams it to the ground. And so he gets 50 points from this. And so then it's the 0-pointer comes, and Deku's ready to run, but then he sees Araka, and so he saves her. He thinks, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? It's coming. It's about to punch me. And he thinks, oh. And so he remembers that he has tough wire in his thing. Like, it's really tough wire that's really strong. And so he says, I'll make this go around the robot. And so he's jumping on a building, because he knows how to crawl on buildings and stuff from learning. And so he is zipping around the robot with his zip wire. People are like, how is this kid doing this? And heroes are amazed at the skills that this kid is doing. He's making the robot stay still without using his quirk, they think. And they're like, does he have like an enhancement quirk or something? And they don't really know. Like, what is this kid? And so then he gets all around the robot, and then double ties its legs and its hands and its upper body, kind of. And so then he sees all this, and so then he takes the little lighter off of his pocket, and then lets a little flame burning. Then it makes the robot burn to the crisp, spreading like a wildfire around the robot. And so then he grabs a rocket and dips. And so then he leaves with people amazed at Izuku. And then a person says, "Hey, that's that's Mi- that's Midoriya from the big Midoriya business, Izuku Midoriya." And people are like, "Cool, he's like the richest boy in the world, probably, or the richest boy in Japan." And people are looking at Deku with amazement. It's just so lucky. How this, he probably could have just got and recommendation because his business helps out UA by a ton. Izuku Midoriya business especially helped UA actually get their building. And so they're talking about Izuku Midoriya, how he's so lucky and stuff. And so he thinks, "Oh, you don't know. You don't know." And so when he gets the thing, they congratulate him, saying, "Yeah, good job, young Midoriya. You got first place in the exam without using your quirk. I applaud you." And so he says, "Well, you enter UA, and we will be putting you in 2 classes, Hero course and the Engineering course. We see your skills with using the wire you used against the 0-pointer. That helped out a lot." And so he says, "Well, Midoriya, good luck." And says, "Welcome to Boku no Hero, My Hero Academia." And so he was making new technology for a suit that week, making it so that he can speed himself and it's like lighter gravity, you could say, because he saw Uraraka's quirk and thinks, maybe if I use that like she was, I can make myself lighter and use that for like attack. And so he gets some like anti gravity stuff, and so he decides to use it. And so he can now run faster, and he also added Ida's propulsors, like things, to his legs of it because he thinks that'll help out a lot. And so when he gets there, he actually is in the technology class first. He doesn't go to Aizawa's thing because so it's like this. So he only goes to the important like classes, and so it's like he doesn't need to, you could say, do the silly stuff, you could say. So he goes to the technology class, and so they said, bring like a suit that you made or something, and so he does. And so it's like in a capsule, but then when he presses a button on it, it turns into like a big pod. And so him and they are grouped together and they're working on it. And she thinks, "So cool. I wish I was rich like this. I would be able to make tons of cool stuff." Deku says, And so she says, "How about you add like a detective mode to it?" And so like you could sense. And so they start adding it, and so then he can see people's heartbeats, and like if their heartbeat accelerated, or they're calm, and he can lip read to make out what they're saying if he needed to. And so he thinks, this is handy. And so he helps develop some more things. And so now it isn't too big or too small. It's fitting him, and it's maximizing his speed and strength. And so now he is also working on the thing. And so tell me what you want his mobile to be. Do you want it to be called the Batmobile, the Zuku mobile, the Deku mobile. Tell me what you want in the comment section. Comment below. And so now it's heroes versus villains. And so All Might says, walking through the door like a normal teacher. And then people say, it's All Might, and start cheering. And so now he says, he gives the costumes, and he says, young Midoriya, there's no costume for you. He says, oh, that's because I have my own. And so then he presses his hand on this, and then this huge just pod appears. And so he opens it up and puts everything on. He walks in, and then the suit just goes on him, and then the cowl goes on his head also. And then he walks out, fixing his arms and stuff, and people are like, cool. And All Might says, that suit looks very high tech. That might be a very strong suit, even for a quirkless person. That could probably protect them. And so when they go, and when it's Deku and Momo, and so they go in against Bakugo and Ida. And so Izuku, knowing what Bakugo will do, tells Momo. And so Momo has like a staff and is ready, and it's flammable. And so when Bakugo appears, she blocks with her flammable thing. And so then when he runs at Deku yelling, Deku! He sees Bakugo, and so then sweep kicks, knocking Bakugo away. And so Bakugo runs at him full speed with explosions. And so he sees this. And so he ducks, and then does a swift punch to the stomach, and then kicks them back. And so now he says, back up. And so Bakugo's angry. He's getting angry. He's getting heated. And so Deku says, run, Momo. And so Bakugo says, oh, no, you don't. And so Deku just throws like 2 smoke bombs. And so then he throws 5 to 7 more. And so Bakugo's trying to do explosions, but it keeps covering up. And so Deku is in the thing, and Momo's going up to find Ida. And so Deku is just on the ceiling, turns on his detective mode, and sees Bakugo. And so he jumps down, grabbing Bakugo with his legs by the neck, and then chops Bakugo's neck, knocking him out, and ties him up with tape. And so then him and Momo make a plan. So she is going to make 100 smoke bombs and put it all in the cannon, and then she's gonna shoot it, and so it's gonna cover the room. And so she pops out with a cannon and shoots it at Ida, and Ida's like, wait. And so then a big boom happens, and almost like, what happened? Because they just saw Momo just shoot a cannon at Ida. And so then a lot of smokes is in the air, and so Ida's just bursting like, where are they? And so then Ida's just, Deku, like his detective mode, sees Ida's freaking out. He's freaking out. And so then he appears behind Ida, punching him in the gut, grabbing both of his legs, tying it up with rope, and then he chops Ida's neck, knocking him out. And so then he says, Momo, do you know how to clear? And she says, yeah. And so then she has like an air cannon that pushes all the wind out. And so they see Ida tied up with Deku and Momo standing there with an unharmed bomb. And they're like, so cool. And so then All Might explains what happens, and they also answer some questions. And so Bakugo when he wakes up, freaks out, is angry, shooting explosions in the nurse office. And so All Might thinks Deku and Momo are a good team. And so Momo asks Deku a few questions about, because she is the son of a big business man too, with daughter. And so he says, yeah, but my parents died, so I'm technically the CEO. And she says, oh, I feel so bad for you. You have to do all that at such a young age. And he says, no, it's fine, Momo. It's fine. And so now a time skip, Deku is improving his suit. Actually adds like a you could say self heater to his suit to like, because he's been like warm, hot, like that kind of stuff. And so she asks, May asks, you might want to get like a heater or something. And so Deku's like, yeah, that's smart. And so he adds one. And also, since Alfredo already knows about him, he actually, Deku adds comms so he could help out like Deku if anything happens. And also let's skip to the Joker. Harley. Let's kill the bat in our invasion soon. And at UA high. And so she says, yeah, Mr. J. And so they're planning a big invasion with 1,000 men on top of like 500 more men. And so this will be a higher invasion than original. And so Deku, while patrolling in these past weeks, finds out about this big invasion, about like a thing on the streets. And so then he goes to Principal Nezu and shows him this. And so he says there'll be attack. And so Nezu thinks, let's go to the USJ, but plan a counterattack. And so Deku says, what do you mean? He says, we will have teachers and pro heroes hiding out in the USJ. And then when we get in, or they attack, we will show them the power of pro heroes. And Deku nods. And so, time skip, Deku gets elected class rep because he's like the smartest in the class, smarter than Momo, and he's really strong, stronger than Bakugo. And so there's actually a Deku club, kind of. And so they always ask Deku for training, and Momo and Deku have connected more. And Deku and May have gotten closer too, because they're fellow like engineers, and so they have a lot in common. But Deku gets ready to the USJ, and so he's been improving his thing, actually adding like something like Bakugo's explosions, but only can use it like once every 10 minutes or so. It lets out like a big explosion, and so Deku is getting ready for the USJ. And they also told the students, and the students, Class 1A will be fighting too, and All Might won't be stupid in save crime that morning, because he knows that a ton of villains are going to be attacking the USJ. And so the press still asks for All Might, but they actually get him this time. It says, go away, young reporters. And so nothing really happens. And so now they're well, the students and Aizawa is going on the bus, and they're getting ready so they don't do what they did in original, because they're saying we're gonna be fighting real villains, and so Aizawa says, "Don't get scared. Us pro heroes will help you." And so there's over 20 pro heroes, so they're gonna be fine. Yeah. But they're not ready for the people that they're gonna meet. And so when they get there, when they see all the villains, they already know. And so they get ready for battle. And so when the pro heroes all walk out to fight them, they're like, oh, heck no. And so the Joker gets ready, and then Bane appears from a portal. And then there's the Riddler. Then Harley and the Joker is there. Where's the bat? Where's the bat? And so they attack. And so Deku is wearing his suit, and the Joker wasn't looking at the students. But then when Deku jumps down, sorry about that. But when Deku jumps down, he the Joker sees him and says, the bat has joined the fight. And so when the Joker sees him, he's like, and then when Batman sees him, Bane and Joker both see Deku, and Bane attacks. Deku is on his back foot, but Deku is dodging his attacks. And people are like, Deku is so cool. He can keep up with this strong villain. And so Deku isn't really holding up well, but he's getting as much attacks as he can. And so then he lets out a big explosion, stunning Bane. And so then he wraps his legs around Bane's head and starts punching him. And so then midnight comes, and Deku puts on his face mask, and she tries to make Bane get stunned with her thing, and it actually succeeds, kind of. But then Bane just wipes it off, and so then Deku gets teleported into somewhere else, and Joker and Bane are getting like again. Hey, we had the bat. So now they're Bane and are angry at Kurogiri, but he says, "Calm down. He might come out alive." And Joker and Bane are like, "He better, or this whole plan is ruined." And so Deku, when facing, he throws an electric shock grenade into the thing, doing the same effect. He throws two of them. And so now Mineta does the same thing with his balls. And so now they get back, and he sees All Might fighting Bane and the Nomu, but All Might is fighting with tons of pro heroes, so it's not really All Might fighting 102. And so All Might beats a Nomu, and so then since All Might didn't do fight Kramen original, he's actually doing way better and easily doing it. And so he takes out Nomu, and so then it's Bane and the Joker, and so Deku appears behind Joker, kicking him to the ground. And then Deku says, "Man, you're weak." And so then he sees Shigaraki running at him with his hands. And then Deku dodges and kicks him away. And so now Joker is fighting Deku. And so they're going pretty good at it. And so Deku's just beating him up though. Like, it's bad. And so then they decide to get away, and when they all get away, Joker says, "We let the bat live." And then he says, "Chill, we're gonna get them another day." And Joker says, "We better." And so, guys, that's the end of this one. Hope you liked it. And so, please like and subscribe and comment and, do all that good stuff. And thank you for 800 subscribers. I really appreciate it. And that's it for this one. See you later, alligator.